How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Opendoor Technologies. You guys know already, these are one of my high conviction plays. We had earnings the other day and we ended up beating estimates. No surprises there. We were able to crush it on our last earnings report as well. I won't waste any more time. Let's just jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. Know those key levels so we have a good idea how this stock could move going into Monday and as well as for the rest of the week. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information and as well as recent institutional ownership. The reason why the short interest is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the institutional side and as well as on the retail side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Opendoor. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $23.14, being up 2.57%. On the low, it tested $22.26, and then on the high, testing $23.76. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 15.315 million shares, and for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 24.355 million shares. So we ended up having below average volume on the day, but we still saw some strength inside of the stock. Now the chart we're using is the daily chart. You can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 53.65. And then when we take a look at the moving averages on our chart, we have strength above the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So Open has been on quite a nice uptrend as of late, but there's been a lot of volatility as you guys can see. But as far as for the Friday is concerned, I love the fact that we were able to use a 21-day EMA as an area of support. So you'd want to see a continuation of this going into Monday and as well as for the rest of the week, because if Open is able to do this, then I'll be looking forward to seeing a strong move to see if we can get past a $24 level. On the Friday, we had resistance right at $23.76, so that's why I'm saying if we can pass this, we should be able to get to the 24s, and then I'll be looking forward to seeing that strong move to where we can get to the 25 and potentially hit up to the $26 range. If it decides to pull back and break through the 21-day EMA, then the next area of support you're going to want to see hold up is around 22 bucks. And also if it pulls back even more, then it would be right here around 21.60. But one thing I also want to bring to your attention, there is a gap on the chart. I'm going to change the time frame to the 5-day 5-minute chart so you guys can have a better look at it. So look where we are. So we have the gap here that starts at $19.64, and we're talking about all the way up to here to around $22.10. And like many of you know already, gaps tend to get filled most of the time. So that means Open can easily have a pullback to fill this gap in. So anyone that's looking at the long-term prospects, this could be an opportunity to take advantage of it. But for the most part, continue to do your homework and your due diligence before taking a long-term position. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on this, and I will not be buying Open at the current prices of where it's at. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Open. So scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So as you can see here for November the 12th, a lot of filings were made. We're going to look at the ones that are most significant, all right? So when we take a look at Hightower Advisors LLC, they purchased just over 45,000 shares. And we also have Baird Financial Group that purchased just under 11,000 shares. And as we scroll down even further, you can see Ontario Teachers Pension Plan Board that went in with just under 30,000 shares. And we also have Gisalo Capital Management LLC that purchased 2.8 million shares. And we have Net Access that purchased 28,000 or just over that. And then we have Teeterman Advisors LLC that purchased just under 11,000. We have Manufacturers Life Insurance Company that purchased just over 13,000. We have Wonderlit Securities Inc. that purchased just under 35,000. We also have Lee Capital Holdings LLC that purchased 50,000. We also have Twin Tree Management LP that went in with a call. And we go down even further, we could see Pathway Capital Management LP purchased 314,612 shares. And we also do see Alpine Global Management LLC that purchased just under 47,000. And we have Bank of Montreal that purchased 1.4 million shares. For the next one, we have Epic Capital Group LLC that purchased 327,228. And then we have Bank of Nova Scotia that purchased just over 3 million shares. And we also have Dark Forest Capital Management. Well, this is not significant. It's only 62 shares. Come on now. And then, yeah, that's pretty much summing up. Oh, no, still got to go. We have Capital Fund Management SA that went in with 308,484 shares. And then we have Wise Asset Management LP that purchased just under 23,000 shares. So we do have some closed positions, but for the most part, institutions are loading up heavy on Opendoor. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 43.60%. And then for the dark pool short volume being just under 2 million shares. And when we scroll down even further, the short shares availability is at 9.5 million, updated just now. And for the short ball free rate, it is at 0.27%. As we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close for the 11th, which was Thursday last week, it was 57.09. And then for the close for the Friday that just passed, is at 43.60. So that is fairly high, but one thing that is clear, Open still continues to have short squeeze potential. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution for Open. So you can see here on the inflow, it was at 81. Then on the outflow, it was at 70.40. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, you can see on the large, it was 6.74. On the medium, it was 34.75. And then on the small, it was 39.51. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 3.48. On the medium, it was 26.69. And then on the small, it was 40.23. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for November the 12th, it was at 3.26 million. All these numbers I went over is in the millions, just to be clear about that. When we take a look at the breakdown even further though, we can see on the small side, we actually had more selling than we had buying. And this usually represents the retail side. But again, it still was fairly close. And then when we take a look at the medium side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large side, which tends to represent institutions and so on, we had more buying than we had selling. So definitely good inflow day there. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.53%. So that is not too bad whatsoever, because we know there are many who are continuing to hold on to their shares, and also there's strong institutional ownership in Open as well. But there also is a lot of volatility in the play due to the fact that they just released earnings, so you're going to have traders that are going to be showing interest. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Opendoor Technologies, I'm going to continue to stay bullish on this stock. And the reason being is we've been doing a great job beating estimates on our earnings reports, and I want to see a continuation of this. Plus, on top of that, they have shown that they are the leaders in the iBuying space. Recently, we heard about Zillow dropping that segment of their business, saying that, you know what, there's not much opportunities there, we're not seeing any profits, but Opendoor is doing a great job at it. So keeping this in mind, the future does look really bright for this company, and it's part of the reasons why it's one of my high conviction plays. And I'm going to start loading up on some more shares if it pulls back under $20. Also, to bring attention to a lot of traders, and I talked about this inside of the technicals, there is a gap fill to the downside. So if you want to wait as a long-term investor to add to your position then you could do that. And if you were a trader, you could find some opportunity there to trade off of that price movement. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see institutions have been loading up on shares of Opendoor, and this is exactly what you want to see, because if they're going to be loading up on any stock whatsoever, they're going to be looking for a return on their investment. And keep in mind, those filing dates are just the filing dates. They had positions way before, and this is when Open was at a cheaper price, and I know it was close when I was telling you guys to load up when it was in the $14 range or $15 range and so forth. Again, I just love this play. You can probably tell from my expression alone. And also on Fintel, when we took a look at the short interest information, it also does have short squeeze potential. So I know there's going to be many traders that are going to be interested in this play for that fact alone. And considering how much volatility this stock actually provides, this is why I want to make sure you keep it on your radar. And for anyone looking into the long term like myself, I'm looking to make sure that I can grab some shares if we end up having a pullback under $20. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.